Howdy ho.
Hello.
Whoa, I didn't know Mike was here. I was like, Funky, that your voice sounds oddly familiar.
I literally just joined right now.
I thought so because I looked at it. I'm like, oh, I'm late again. But no, Zion's not here yet. Okay, good. And as soon as I click, I'm like, oh, and I got your voice. I'm like, wait, what? Are you guys sleeping together?
There is no sleeping.
Whoa, those are some big words.
Mm,
This entire time, Funky's trying to talk and he forgot he's muted.
Sure,
What?
let's go. Let's go with that. I
All right.
definitely didn't go get Abby sandwich.
Or these fucking clowns again. I'll just pretend I'm not here.
I'll let them talk
I
for
call
like
that
half an hour
that's
before
Friday.
joining.
That's Friday.
Ah, Friday again, huh? All right, let's do it.
Here we go. How are you two?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. Just
That's good.
drinking some chocolate milk.
How dare you?
Oh boy. I just saw. There it is. Uh, so I've been playing the most controversial game of the year.
Diablo Immortal.
Okay, second controversial game of the year. Uh, Saints Row, and this game. I don't know if you
No.
guys have ever played a game like this, where. Oh yeah, that's right. We're here, and I fell off the map. That's right. Let's not do that again. Uh, this game is
Why not?
what is the best way to explain this? It's almost like there was two different teams playing on the game, working on the game. On one side of the coin, there's a lot of fun stuff to do. There's deep customization. I've seen people making, I shit you not, for their bosses like celebrities. I've seen the Hulk, like almost like I'm talking Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk.
It
Like
seems
it
like
looks just like him.
yeah, people are having fun with it. Like they would do like a what is it, the WWE games.
Yeah, I've seen yeah, but this is like really detailed. I've looked at people that weren't so obvious, and then like I was able to guess who they were. I've seen a lot of good stuff, and it's not just that either. It's also the cars, super fucking detailed, and I fell off. Uh, I've seen people make the new Batmobile from the Batman. I've seen people make like just about like the old Batmobile. I've seen people make the Munsters car. I've seen people make because there's a hearse in the game. I've seen the Ghostbusters car. I have seen so much things for the customization options, and then there's the like the driving. It actually feels pretty good. The cars all feel different. Some feel weighty. Some feel featherly light. Uh, the controls feel pretty decent. It's not Forza, but it's not Watch Dogs 1 or 2 either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
uh,
it's not a Ubisoft.
yeah. It's not Forza, but it's not Ubisoft either. Oh, there's a fucking gnome up here. What the shit?
You on the roof?
No. Well, don't disturb them if
Oh,
they're fun.
he fell. Actually, right
How
next to
dare you.
Finky. Uh, yeah, there's. I always forget the controls for when I'm here. Uh, there's a lot to like in the game, and then there's the other side of the coin, and it feels like a different team made it. almost, because there's first like the land, the world that you're in is both beautiful and like they've done some crazy things with the weather, and like you can get some really impressive visuals out of the game. The
Thank you.
sunsets and the sunrises are immaculate. Immaculate. That's your word for the day. But
Aren't you meant
then
to
there's
say what it means then as well?
oh well
I know
it
what it
means
means, but you know.
oh okay. Uh like it looks it's so weird because then the other side of the coin, the game is like the combat and gameplay could be a little better. There's so many cool things to see, but you can't go into any of the stores. There's like maybe each part of the city's broken down in like 10 different districts, and there's like all these cool places to see, but you can only go into like one building in each district. Uh, it's weird. It's you see a lot of customization, but then everything in the game, like the cars, the people, is all copy paste. Uh, there's like they took out a lot of the interactions that the series was known for. You could like go down the street and you would see people arguing or talking with one another. Or they would be sometimes fights would break out. A car would crash, like in Saints Row 2 and 3. A car would crash, and if you waited long enough, just like in GTA, a fire truck and police would show up. Here now, like a lot of that is gone,
Hmm.
and it's like for every step forward, they took a step back. So the game is like going. It's not making progress, but it's
Yeah.
not losing progress either. It's just like, oh, this is really cool, and then 2 seconds later, okay, that was stupid. Have you guys ever played a game that was like that polarizing?
Not to that effect, but
Not that I can think of, but I mean,
a little bit
possibly
like
at
that,
some
where
point.
I would say, like I said, not to that effect, but I feel like Odyssey was kind of that for me. At least especially the DLC. It's just like, okay, I get it. Can we, you know, cool systems, cool this, but you know, does it still have to be this massive open world where I gotta run everywhere and just like, can't you do this a little bit faster and more self-contained kind of thing?
Yeah, that was my feeling towards the second half of the game. Uh, but I get what you're saying.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
like I
think
said,
if
not
like
to the third extent.
if the NPC or NPC if the main character wasn't so likable,
Oh
if you
yeah,
played the girl, then I would have liked the game a lot less.
for sure.
Uh, but yeah, I get why all the people like the YouTubers and the reviewers. Some reviewers liked the game a lot, but the majority of them did not like the game. YouTubers did not like the game. Skill Up hated the game. ACG did not like the game.
Yeah,
Uh,
he did several videos on
yeah.
it.
But it feels like it's like I said before. It's one of those games where people are going to shit on it, but I think players are going to like it.
uh, I think its saving grace is that it's a big open world with mods coming. Because even if you don't like the game, which is still what I hear is a lot of people actually, just think it's one of those things most people just don't really, they're just like not interested. Like, looks like shit. I'm not gonna buy it, and that's about where it ends. Uh, but I feel like oh, that's you. There's I forgot where I was going with this. I feel like the fact that it released, even if you didn't like it, the fact that it released pretty damn buggy is the thing most people can't forgive.
It does have some bugs in it. Oh yeah.
Sure, being mediocre, fine, whatever. You're not gonna buy it, but then even if you are one of the people that do want to play it, and it's still a buggy mess, you're like, well, fuck this. It's already kind of average at best, and now I got to deal with bugs as well. Fuck this. Refund.
Yeah, I bought a $65,000 jacket for my character, and sometimes when I go into the menu to customize my character's clothing, the jacket will actually vanish, but I'm still wearing it.
Lovely.
So I have to leave the menu, go back into the menu, and re-equip the jacket. And
From what I hear, yeah. The
it's
worst
a
one
small
is
thing, but it's really annoying.
the worst one, and maybe they patched this with day one, and this is mostly from the reviews, but like the fact that mobs wouldn't show up where they needed to show up, and since you're contained in a certain area, you'd have to run around, find them, and then they're like on top of a bridge or something where you can't get to, because if you try to get to it, you leave the mission area and then you fail the mission, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard about that too, but they must have patched that pretty early,
Yeah.
because by the time I got to it, that hasn't been an issue.
Yeah, no, fine.
There's already been like a day one. There's already been two patches. There was a day one patch and there was another one.
Mm.
But then it's not even that. It's also stuff that they did intentionally. Like it annoys me that I can't open the map, which I use a lot, by a button key. I have to open my phone by hitting tab and then going to the map key on the phone to open it. Because if I just hit M, instead of opening the map, it opens up missions. And it shows my mission list that I can work on.
That's a bit silly.
Yeah, it's like, did no one really think about this? We're going to be using the map, like, pretty heavily throughout the game. And you guys decided not to give it a hotkey? Really? Really? I mean, I even went into the controls, and there's no option to even give it a hotkey.
God damn, that's silly.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys, really? This is 2022.
I blame
So,
EA.
that's where I'm at right now. Just give you a quick update on the game, if you were going to wonder about it. Speaking of EA, did you hear that they're possibly up for sale? Or yeah, they've been up for sale for a while actually. But did you hear that rumor going around right now? Is that Amazon?
No, that's a false rumor.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But would have been interesting though. But yeah, it's proven false. The guy who wrote the article pretty much said no. It's not true.
You know they're hold on, I gotta reposition myself here, and I don't want to fall again. I don't want to fall, man. I know Amazon's trying to get into the game market. They had the MMO last year that ended up going nowhere because they didn't want to keep working on it.
Still, I mean, not true. It's got its audience. Let's put it that way. And
well, it had a bigger audience at one point too.
Yeah, but that's always at launch. And the bugs certainly didn't help. But you're always you're never gonna get the full people back.
No, but people were playing it for a pretty long time, and then they started to leave when they saw the game had no life.
Yeah, fair.
And the game is still in the same state.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, it's had some bug fixes here and there, but like it's had very little content worth mentioning. And
to quote Josh Hayes, it's not worth going back to at the moment.
Yeah, and that's pretty bad when it's an MMO that's a game of live service. But I know Amazon's trying to get into the game market more. They've got their own launcher, which I have, because I got a few games from my Amazon Prime on it, but I've never used it. I don't even have it. I never even load it up.
Yeah.
But anyway,
To be
Uh,
honest, I'm surprised that Disney hasn't made an offer yet. Because they love
uh,
their money. EA loves their money. They
well,
have
they
the
do have the
franchises. They have the
Lucasfilm
licenses. Yeah,
or
yeah,
Lucas
exactly.
arts that they brought back.
Yeah, but I mean that could go under one big umbrella.
Yeah.
It's Disney
Uh,
Gaming, and then you just let it's EA under Disney Gaming. You know, stuff like that.
uh, so did you guys happen to watch Kingdom yesterday?
Yes.
I've seen the first two.
Okay,
Same.
that's what I watched too. So overall, and then you guys can pick out any plot points you want to from the first two episodes. What did you guys think of it so far?
I'll
First
let
two
you two
episodes.
start because this is the up until the fifth episode will be the new one for me. So I'll let you guys discuss it first.
I liked it. I'm a fan of like political intrigue stuff anyway. So there's that, like where it started, but the thing that I'm more curious about is the fact that it's the very start of a zombie apocalypse. It's not at the end of it. It's not partway through where half the world's been taken over by zombies and half is still fine. It's like, okay, we've pretty much got patient zero, maybe patient 5, whatever.
Yeah.
Or as far as the show showing us the Emperor, he seems to be patient zero.
Yeah.
So seeing how it spreads from there, and especially why it spreads, like, oh no, the Emperor's fine, don't worry about it. The Emperor's fine. It's like, he's eating people. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
You
Just
sure?
wait until the baby gets here.
Yeah. So I'm curious, one, how that's going to play out, and two, I'm wondering how they're going to try and mix the two. Because all I've got in my head, because the only time I've ever seen political intrigue mix with essentially a apocalyptic scenario like this is the Game of Thrones one. I'm just like,
Yeah, they try to
it can't be
compare
as,
it a
they
lot.
can't do it as bad as Game of Thrones did,
Mm.
but I'm curious how they're actually gonna. I don't use the word solve because at this point I'm pretty sure they're not gonna solve it as such, more as try and survive it.
The best way
Walking
I've
Dead
seen it
style.
described is it's a because everybody went for the obvious Game of Thrones one, but the best way I saw it described is it's a Korean period drama with political period drama with that just happens to have zombies.
So you're saying it's Pride and Prejudice and zombies,
Yeah, exactly.
which I have not seen. So.
I same, but or read. But yeah, something, I mean, better, of course, since it's gotten a lot of praise. But, because the Game of Thrones one is like, yeah, okay, yeah. But it's kind of low-hanging fruit because it's like, oh, well, it has an undead army. It has a... it's in the medieval period. And it has politics. It's like, yeah, okay, I see, but, But, I will say, and this is not spoilery, but it started off a little bit slow, but three definitely picks up on the zombie part.
I did
Excuse me,
think
sorry.
that one was a bit slow, but I was like, once you sort of click like this is the exact, like I said, the start of the zombie thing,
Yeah,
it's not already get going, so it will be slow, but it's zombies,
yeah, and
so it
it's
spreads
setting up the
fucking
political
quick.
stuff.
Yeah. As it shows in episode 2, it
Yeah,
spreads quickly.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
So I thought it filmed well. Had good sound. Acting was good. I'm happy to see my girl back again. I forget her name. From Silent Sea and Sense8.
Yeah, yep.
Uh, I thought the cinematography was excellent. Um, I like that the credits are short. Uh,
I don't think I even saw any of the credits because I was on Netflix, so it just auto skipped.
Yeah.
exactly.
I think I did actually look at
uh,
the time. I think the actual credits are like 4 or 5 minutes long. Like they are a significant chunk of the the progress bar, but because of the skip, I think it was relatively all right.
Yeah.
this is about all the praise that I can give it. Uh, because if I'm honest, um, it really didn't hook me. I think it was extremely slow in the beginning.
All right.
I came for zombies and I got Game of Thrones Korean style. And I don't even like Game of Thrones. Except for the boobies. Uh, I did like the actors, but I was more interested in the actors than the characters they were playing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Uh, it did start to pick up in the second one when the prince and his companion gets to the clinic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I started to like it a little more. I mean, I wasn't hating it to where I was going to turn it off, but it really surprised me that I wasn't liking it as much as I thought I was going to. And I don't know, it's hard to say because I don't want to sound like I hated it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it either.
It's not
I think you went
quite.
in with a different mood.
Exactly.
You wanted zombie hordes running around.
And I wanted to see, Korean style medieval weapons, slicing them in half, and stuff like that, like Game of Thrones battle scenes, but with zombies. That's what I thought I was going to get. And instead I got, "Where's my father?" over and over. And but like you guys said, it was a lot of political intrigue. It was basically an uprising. I pieced it together that they got the the flower, and they're keeping the king alive long enough for the daughter to give birth,
Yeah.
so that way they can then the power won't go to the son, but it'll go to the daughter and her son, hopefully son. I'm
Not
sure
the
that's what they're
wife,
all thinking.
actually, but yes.
Okay, yeah. And then the clan can really take over and
Yeah.
control.
Yeah, it's all about the
Yeah.
Huan Cho Chi clan. Just like
Yeah.
Yeah,
they want power, and that's how, in that era, that's how your clan took power from the current emperor. Was you had a kid with them and then killed them. Usually, that's usually how it
Yeah.
worked.
Yep.
so like I was able to piece that together pretty quickly. But I don't know. Overall, I wasn't like ecstatic about what I was watching, and I'm gonna keep watching it.
I think you'll definitely like episode 3.
I'm gonna keep watching it. Maybe it was just a really slow start, but yeah, it was a
Oh, it
really
is.
slow
Yeah.
start.
It is.
That's
It is a slow burn, but you know, it is because it is that political that it needs to set all of that up.
yeah.
Kind of
So
like, I
that's
guess, kind of like Godzilla, where it's a monster movie, but actually it's you know commentary on the current system, uh, disguised as a monster movie if you do it right.
yeah. So that's where I'm at the moment. Like when it was over, I had no interest in skipping ahead to another episode, like I do sometimes. I
No, I
was just
definitely
like,
had, but I knew what was coming. So
yeah, I was just kind of like done.
yeah, no, fair enough. Getting in with the right mindset is a big thing as well.
Yeah. But I am going to continue it tonight. I think you guys want to watch 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
And
so
by
we'll
then
watch
we're
3 and
almost
4.
and by then we're almost done. If you want to stop at the first season, you know.
No, we'll keep going. There's 2 seasons. We'll finish it. There's only like what 10 episodes per season, and then there's that what
Oh no,
2 hour
no,
movie or
six,
something.
six, 6 episodes. You're already 1/3 in.
Oh, I thought it was 10 episodes. Okay,
No, no,
never mind.
no. Maybe the second season is, I don't know, but
Uh, I will say this though. Not about this show though. I was actually going to bring this up yesterday, but never got a chance to, and I forgot. Uh, I started watching Love, Death, and Robots,
aha,
and I've only watched the first 2 episodes so far,
that's 3 minutes.
but
Okay.
I saw the 3 robot one. That was pretty funny. I like that one a lot. And if you don't remember, it's the one where they're doing like the sightseeing tour after humanity's had its apocalypse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's been ages since I saw it. So
Yeah. The second one kind of creeped me out. The second one being the one with the crew that they're about to do a jump. So they all go into their pods, their stasis pods to sleep. And then the captain wakes up and they find that they're off course. And his old girlfriend is there. Does that ring a bell?
no, but I'm sure if I see it again, if I see a couple of minutes of it, I'll like, oh yeah, this one, or even the first thing.
Yeah, his girlfriend is there, and one of the crew members wakes up and says it's not her. And then basically he's waiting for them to fix the ship so they can go back through because they got shot like light years upon light years off course.
That's
And
a lot
for
of minds.
yeah, and they've been gone for like a long time too. But he never questions why his girlfriend is there, which was kind of weird. And then, wait, have you seen this sign?
Nope.
All right, then I'm gonna stop there because it seems like, and this is kind of a spoiler in itself, but it seems like every episode, unless it's like a comedy, like the robot one, it seems like almost like it feels like every episode is going to be sort of a twist.
Yeah,
From what I've heard, it's for lack of a better descriptor, it's similar in style to how Black Mirror worked, where each episode's standalone, but there
That's a
is
good way
like
to it,
a
yeah.
thread. If you watch enough episodes, you'll notice a theme or threads of
Well,
similar things showing up.
the
kind
theme
of
is
thing.
very easy. It's you pick one of them or some of them. It's love, death, or robots. Those are usually in a certain way the themes they're going with.
Yeah, to me this felt a lot like Twilight Zone. Uh, but yeah, I see the Black Mirror thing too, which was also like a nod to Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go any further then because I don't want to root for Zion. I don't want to ruin it. Excuse me, not root it. Ruin it for Zion in case he ever decides to watch it. But yeah, let's just say that he starts questioning his girlfriend, and it's not. Things aren't what they seem, and it creeped me out. But I definitely want to keep watching more because what I did see, I enjoyed a lot. The robots were hilarious as shit. I love the female robot trying to hit on the jukebox because they didn't know what a jukebox was,
Yeah,
and they thought that the jukebox was a robot and it was singing to her, like trying to court her. Like little stuff like that was really
yeah,
funny.
there's some fun
And then-
ones in there.
yeah, and then the female robot calls like another robot a pussy for not doing something,
Yeah.
and it was really funny. So I definitely want to keep seeing more. I feel like that's a show I could easily blast through in like a weekend.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know about now, but considering some of the episodes are, I think, like at the most it's like 40 minutes, but I don't even think that. Like most of them are like 20-ish, if not less.
All the episodes that I've seen, there might be some specials, but every episode I've seen when I was looking through the episode guide, they're all like 8 to 12 minutes long.
Yeah, most of them are like shorter, but I think there's some that are like 30-ish.
And I also like that they didn't stick with one style.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They
No,
have,
it's different directors for each one.
yeah. Well, there's that, yeah, in the writing,
And
but I meant
and
like,
writing. Oh yeah, it's not like I said. They don't
like
use.
this one is computer generated CGI. This one is animated. This one is live action. This one is minis,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
motion. Like the what turned me on to it was, and I gotta tell Lynn because she always asked me like every year for like 3 years straight. She kept asking me, "Have you seen Love, Death, and Robots? Have you seen Love, Death, and Robots?" I'm like, "No, no, I haven't. Shut up. Go away. No one likes you." And then I saw a clip on YouTube that showed up and it was called Mini Night of the Dead. And it's the one where the couple goes to the graveyard and they end up desecrating the graveyard from having sex, and then it spawns like zombies and they
Yeah.
get eaten, and then it shows like the progression of zombies attacking the world, and the whole thing is done in stop motion miniatures, and it's awesome as hell.
Oh, because somebody wanted to get laid.
Well, there was that, but then there was also the let's stand on the on top of this special looking statue and desecrate it,
Well,
and then lightning strikes and
I'm gonna
a
go with
green burning
getting
upside
laid.
down cross forms.
I'm gonna go with
But
the
yeah,
getting laid
okay, yeah, we'll stick with that.
one.
But yeah, it was. I watched. It was only 2 minutes long. That's all they had on YouTube. I don't know if that's the whole episode or if there was more, but I watched it and I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided to sit down. That's when I started really looking into it, and then yeah, that's what it was, baby.
Well, it's a good, definitely like, but it's it just there's as per usual there's some hit and miss ones, but overall I would
Yeah.
say the show is really good. And there's also some sci-fi shorts on Netflix from Neil Blomkamp, or at least he produced them. Where there's but those are all I think at least all live action.
I'm going to give a hot take here.
You don't like Neil Blomkamp?
I do not like him.
Nah, he's hit and miss.
I have not liked any of his movies, and when I saw his artwork for his version of the next Alien movie, I did not like anything I saw.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like
I'm not
the.
against him. He
Yeah.
just doesn't do anything I like, and I
Yeah,
didn't
no, fair
like
enough.
his movies, which is
I
his
I
main
think I
draw.
still think his best one is District 9.
That's what everyone
Yeah.
says because it was his. I think too it was his best movie. It seemed to be the most well received. Not many people like Elysium, and not many people like Chappie.
Yeah,
And Elysium was supposed to be a huge hit for him too. Matt Damon, sci-fi thriller, and it
like,
kind
it's
of
not a bad
bombed.
movie. It's just one of those movies that just it's kind of like Saints Row. It's just there.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's an audience for it, but I'm not part of that
Yeah.
audience. Son of a bitch,
Yeah.
I fell.
I just spray up Zion's ass for a moment. Yeah, no, I think Neil Blomkamp is like it's a. I don't want to insult him too much, but he's a bit like George Lucas, where I like his ideas, but the execution is I think.
No, you just insulted me.
I feel like he had what you need from him is I think he lets the producers in a little bit too much on his vision.
My vision.
Whereas I feel like if he was like I'm gonna do this movie, I'm gonna work on it for a couple of years, get the script going and everything, build the entire world, and then we'll go. That would be in his benefit, but he's like, I don't want to say half-assing it, but like, he doesn't see that that's probably best for him.
Yeah,
But you know,
Gene Roddenberry was just as bad.
yeah.
He was a great idea man. Came up with a wonderful world to play in and live in, but his ideas were horrible for
Yeah.
standalone episodes.
It's the same with and I'm bringing him up again, but why Indiana Jones is so beloved and at least script and wise and everything, and why the fourth one is horrible because the fourth one is the one where the first three is kind of where Steven Spielberg was to George Lucas like let's not go too far with this, and then for the fourth one because George Lucas has been wanting to do the Crystal Skull thing for like an eternity, and that's the one where he finally said yes, and then we know what we ended up with.
Yeah, makes me wonder how this next one's gonna go.
Not good.
But you have to be curious though.
Oh yeah, I just feel like some franchises should just be left alone as soon as the actor's not up for it anymore. Like Die Hard should have been left alone as
I
soon
mean,
as.
Die Hard in Russia wasn't good.
I mean,
Yes, that was an actual.
are the Russians listening?
No, the FBI is though.
Okay, well then no, it definitely wasn't.
But I think you're out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah, well, you never know.
That's not what they would say.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, no, like I feel like there's like I said, there's just sometimes where it's just like, just stop it.
Yeah,
But, that doesn't bring in the money because if you can go, oh hey, it's this, so it's a reboot of this, so it's gotta be good, and you're like,
and spoilers, it's not.
yeah.
I didn't hate the fourth one, but it definitely was nowhere near the same caliber as the first three. And a lot of the things that people didn't like didn't bother me, like the kid was not a kid anymore, but I forget his name. He didn't bother me. I didn't mind the monkey CG. But there was other things like surviving a
Oh yeah.
the blast in a refrigerator, and so like I know it's supposed to be tongue in cheek. I know you can't be realistic about it, but the other films were semi-realistic. They would never went that far. It didn't become slapstick comedy.
And I just felt like it just was way too CGI. Like you could, like almost everything was. Where they were in a room or like in a camp, they could build somewhere. As soon as they had to move or something, CGI.
Actually, that was my problem. That was the big thing that bothered me. Everything felt like a set. Except for like the motorcycle chase scene when they were driving through the town.
Yeah. That's the only one.
Yeah, everything else felt like they were on a set. When they were at the campfire, when they were inside the diner, when he was in his office, everything felt like it was just manufactured to be there for the film, and that bothered me.
Yeah. And I feel like the biggest thing they missed, they kind of set it up, so I can't blame it too much, but this was done absolutely wrong. That should have been the big, okay. Indiana Jones retires, and now he's giving the reins too, but they kind of didn't want to commit to that. It's like, oh yeah, he can be the younger me, he can go on stuff in it, but obviously I'll still be around.
I think that kind of was the plan, but they weren't sure how they're going to react to the kid taking over. So I think they left it out, or they just didn't, they never even filmed it or even wrote it. But I think the plan was in their heads, like when they decide to do the next one, the kid will come back and Indiana Jones or Harrison Ford will be like when his father was in the third one. And he was going to be the main star. But then after everything got kind of weird with him and he started doing like all that.
Artsy
shit.
Yeah, the green one. The green one's the original flavor.
Yeah, I
think from what I'm told, he corrected himself, but I also feel like he just wasn't. He wasn't the right type for it.
Yeah, he wasn't. They were just cashing in on him because he was so popular at the time with the Transformers and all his other movies. Because I did like him. I did like him for some of his movies that he did.
He's not a bad actor. It's just like
No, he's not.
it's just also not great, and he's not a great act. At least charisma. He's like he has his things where he's good at, but you know, if you want somebody with charisma, he's not kind of the guy you want to go for.
He's like Chris Pratt. He plays one part really good, but that's all he can play.
Yeah. I felt like if I were, and you know, obviously, like you said, there's reasons, sadly, but if I were to pick a new one, it's not a total fit, but that's kind of the idea because you don't want it to be like,
Idris Elba.
No. It's not that far. It's a different personality, but he can hang. I would have gone Army Hammer.
He's in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying in a world where you know all of that doesn't happen and everything.
Oh,
you know, I think he would have been a good fit. Like he wouldn't have had the charisma as Harrison Ford, but you know it's fucking Harrison Ford, so try replacing that. It's like trying to replace Sean Connery. It's like no.
How about Tom Holland?
Nah. I mean, maybe when he's older, but I mean, he is kind of oldish. But like when he looks older, at least. How about Henry Cavill? Come on, let's go with it.
I like him, but he doesn't fit the part.
No. I'm just. Just we're.
And I was making a reference to the Uncharted film. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Which I actually do kind of want to watch.
Nah.
I will not admit it. I can't see it as Uncharted, but I do kind of want to watch it.
Hmm.
I have heard that it's actually a pretty decent adventure movie in the same vein as The Mummy and Indiana Jones. But if you go into watching Nathan Drake, it's gonna turn you off.
Yeah, that's the same way I looked at the latest Tomb Raider movie. It's like, it's not bad. It's retelling the story I've already played for a certain extent, but it's good. It's not it's versus the old one where it's just like, hey, look, Angelina Jolie's has boobs and ass. That's the script
I hated
there.
those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's kind of the whole Lara Croft characteristics.
Yeah,
At that
but
time,
yeah,
she didn't have
in
a
those
personality, so they didn't really have much to go
in
off.
those days.
She was the
But
perfect fit.
With the reboot, I feel like with the reboot they kind of did it right because I always felt like there's more to her than that, and it's actually a pretty neat character. They just like they always treated her as the sex object, and it was that's what I liked about the game, the reboot of the games where they didn't do that. Where it's like, oh no, she's pretty, but you know.
Yeah, they did worse
She
things.
knows
They did do it a little.
They kind of made it. They kind of made. They didn't do it as much in the reboot games, but they also did far worse things in the reboot games. So.
Oh yeah.
Swings and roundabouts, I guess.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as the character of Lara Croft is served better in the reboot than in the old ones.
I don't think it is really, because in the old ones it was like, okay, why do you dig up the treasure? It's like, oh, it's a family business. 2, you know, I enjoy doing it, and 3, some of them are quite dangerous, so are valuable. Indiana Jones style, both education, a bit of money, sure, but also some of them turn out to be rather dangerous, so I put them in non-dangerous people's hands. Whereas the new one, it's like, why do you do, like the archaeologist goes, I kind of fell off a plane onto an island.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just
Let me put on my tightest pants I find.
Hello, Pippin.
I just feel like in general her vibe is better. Let's put it that way.
It is. She's a lot more down to earth. She's less superhero, more like a real woman. But then at the same time, the camera's always placed right behind her ass, and she's wearing like the tightest pants possible.
Yeah, no, so, like I said, it's definitely not perfect.
No, it's not. Whereas the first one was clearly made for teenage boys.
Yeah.
That was its biggest selling point, because otherwise, if you really think about the Tomb Raider games, they're not that good.
Yeah, no.
They're not.
Same
they're
with the Uncharted ones, to be honest. They're just
they're very basic, and this like the landscapes. I mean, yeah, okay, PlayStation 1 era, they did what they could. I get that,
Yeah,
but they wanted, because they knew it would sell. They would do the majority of the sales. They wanted a sexy protagonist for the audience, and the audience was mostly boys.
still
That's why
is.
her boobs were like 12 meters long,
Hell yeah.
That and
and
a
she
coding
rocked two
error.
guns. But she ended up becoming a fan favorite because not only was she sexy and people were just not just lusting after her, but she actually was a likable character.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's
she
why
did
there was
trap a
one
butler
after
in the
another,
fridge
after
constantly.
another, after another. The hell is a barge board?
It's this thing at the front here, above the door.
Here I come. I'm here. Oh, what the hell? What am I standing on? Oh, there's a ladder here.
Yeah. There was a ladder, and then we just pushed it. There it is. There we go. Done.
Hey.
Yay!
We cleaned
Hello,
the
I
hello.
temple.
made a lot of money from that.
Hope you had some good food. The same. Oh yeah, nice. I think I can buy some new stuff.
New stuff.
What did I need?
I'll load up the next map, and then you can do your shop.
Oh, I own it already. Never mind. All right.
Yeah, I think I have all of the. Welcome to
I have all of the
Gannon's
stuff for the
favourite place.
new one I have.
What are we doing
Ooh.
What are we doing in the bathroom of my restaurant?
It's Fort Boyard. I don't know. That probably
Is it
will
Fort
mean nothing
Boyard?
to
I missed
to
that.
Koshi, but you know.
I miss that show. I do. I really like that.
Yeah, I watched it as growing up. Usually it was in French, so I didn't understand quite of it, but I didn't really need to anyway.
Yeah, it was more about just watching the panic on people's faces as like the roof
Yeah.
caved in on them
Yeah, exactly.
when they couldn't figure it out. Like 3 times 5 is 15.
Yeah.
It is?
No.
I think the
Oh,
best
only
part
in-
of Fort Boyard was like the whole key system, where you got a key and that unlocked more of the vault, so you could get a bigger reward.
Yeah.
But it also you needed a key to, if one of your guys got stuck in a room when the time ran out, went to
Yeah.
jail, and the key also opened their jail cell. So you
Yeah.
had to choose: do I let our teammate out, or do we have an extra door in the vault? And I always found that like. Just some of them were just like, yeah, no, fuck you, you're staying in the jail.
Yeah.
They didn't even
Well,
like consider it. It's like, no, you're staying in there, dude.
Oh shit.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Did you
It's
ever?
a, it's a, yeah, go
Will
ahead.
Crystal Maze have ever been shown in America?
I think he knows Crystal Maze.
I know what Crystal Maze is.
It's basically
It
Crystal
It
Maze.
is not shown in America, though.
Nah, it's basically a show that was basically Crystal Maze, but like in a fort, like an old abandoned sea fort. They shipped in the team, and they have all those puzzles and stuff. And as a reward for finishing the puzzles, you either got a riddle piece. That when you completed the riddle, it took you to like a location on the fort that gave you a key, or it just gets all the puzzles straight up, gave you a key. At the end of the show, the reward was use the keys to open locks on a vault, and each key would give you like 30 seconds before the door started to shut. And obviously inside the vault is X amount of, I think they use like gold doubloons or something, as the
something
currency,
like that. Yeah,
and then
old
it converted
Spanish.
to actual money that you shared between the party. But if you got stuck in the room when the timer ran out, then you would be escorted to a jail cell because it's a fort, so they had them. And those keys that open the vault for longer also open those jail cells. So if you lost a person, you had to choose whether to have the extra 30 seconds in the vault or have that extra person who might be able to solve an upcoming puzzle, because they were all, I don't want to say specialists, but like there was no such thing as like a general purpose competitor kind of thing. They were all very much this person's good at math, this person's good at riddles, this person's good at
There's a fire. There's a
poetry.
fire.
Yeah,
Man, there's
this
a,
person's physically
cop,
fit,
you know.
shit like
Physical.
that. Yeah. So you'd go, oh, the physical guy got stuck in a jail cell, and the next you go, oh, no, we won't rescue him. The next thing you come up to is, oh shit, this one's got to carry a lot of heavy weight very quickly. What the fuck? So you
Yeah,
ended up sacrificing someone else instead.
I always felt, and it probably has been one, but it would have also been a great board game. And it probably has been a board game. I just don't know if it's
There might be like a
been a good
table. I
one.
imagine there's a tabletop of it somewhere.
Yeah,
Like,
something like yeah. But it was a really fun kid show that.
I think my favourite puzzle of them all was just the guy, the old man in the tower that just gave him a riddle.
Oh yeah,
And it was basically
that's how
basically
into me.
it was basically a guaranteed key, but you know if you got, because you either got the riddle right and you just went, oh yeah, here's the key, but if you got it wrong, it just threw it out the window and said you can go get it if you want, want it, and you could just dive out the window into the sea to go get the key.
Yeah. It always was. That one always felt a bit Monty Python to me. You must answer these riddle 3.
And answer these riddles. If you get any of them wrong, I'm just going to launch the key out the window. At which point, it's up to you whether you go get it or not.
Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, that was a great show.
You know, speaking of board games, did you guys see that the fundraiser for or I don't know if it's a Kickstarter. Hold on, let me look real quick just to be sure.
Definitely. This is okay-ish. Oh no, we were talking about Lara Croft.
Oh yeah.
Is this what it was?
Yes.
Ooh, what we found.
No,
This tunnel's now clean. This tunnel is clean.
Yeah, it was well, no, actually it was Indiegogo, not Kickstarter.
Go into
But
Indiegogo.
It got funded. They did a series of very well done SCP books, SCP Foundation books.
Oh, nice.
They're art books that cover a lot of lore, but first and foremost, they're art.
Yeah.
Cover a lot of lore on each subject.
Nice.
And the first like 3 books or 4 books cover the real popular ones.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it was pretty big news, and I was like, oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. I didn't know about it. If they ever show up, I might buy them.
Actually, well, here's the Indiegogo page. I put that in Discord.
Because I also have like the some of the Witcher books that they made for the game, talking about the monsters and everything, and I sometimes buy books like that just to be like, oh, in a tabletop, it's this, and then you just pull out the book and go, yeah, or the NPC looks like this.
Really?
Plus, it's SCP, so
I can't really imagine how they've done the SCP books, because like there's very little solid lore to it. Really, it's more. There's a few things like what a D class
like
is,
case
stuff,
files, and then like some art from it. I'm assuming it's mostly the art, where it's like, it's the notes and all of that shit.
It's more of just like a collection of the articles rather than an actual story or something. Or it might be.
I think that's why a lot of it is art.
Yeah.
To fill in that space. Like here's a 2 or 3 page introduction on this this SCP. Now here's like 5 pages of really well done art.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have the story that the person has written, and then you have like the art that was inspired by it. It's how I imagine it would be.
It's a fun tabletop. It's SCP.
I've never tried it, but yeah.
Currently,
No, have you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Because I got something really big to tell you guys. But go ahead.
Yeah, we're currently doing a game every other Sunday, and we basically start off as D class, and
nice.
Then, a thing it broke out. There was a breach in the thing we were in,
Mhm.
and we have
Yeah.
to survive and get out. And we managed to survive, and basically ended up joining the Chaos Insurgency like immediately, because they were like, well, you're D class that have escaped, so if the Foundation find you, you're gonna die. They're gonna just kill
Yeah.
you outright. We can just kill you because we don't really need you, but you know your knowledge is kind of helpful because we were playing like most of us were ex employees of the Foundation that's been downgraded to D class for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah.
And then my guy just had the worst luck because he's after 2 sessions he has a permanent sort of insanity from because he's immune to amnestics now. Something so he's immune to amnestics, but that means all previous amnestics that have been applied now no longer work, so he remembers everything. And then he's also managed to completely lose an arm in one of the fights, so he's now a one-armed insane scientist.
What system is it using?
I'm not too sure what the system's called.
Is it Apocalypse? I thought it was Apocalypse.
It might be
Or maybe that's
Apocalypse.
a different one.
You roll. How do the dice work again? It's been about a month since we played. You roll a D. No, you get. Each of your stats have boxes, and you buy the boxes. So
Seems like its own thing then.
it might be its own thing. I've not seen it anywhere else. So like you spend stuff to buy D8s, and then whenever you have to roll your health, you roll the D8s that you have, or if you can buy a D10 and a D12, like in a pyramid.
Is it Savage? Is it Savage? That Savage Worlds? That sounds a bit like Savage Worlds.
I think it's similar to Savage Worlds. I've only ever played one Savage World game, and that was a long time
Because
ago.
you buy better dice with that as well.
Yeah, so you sort of buy better dice. So you buy more D8s, and then once you have for every 2 D8s, you can buy a D10, and for every 2 D10s, you can buy a D12.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like it,
And
but
I
maybe
think
not.
I think it might be similar to Savage Worlds. I think someone was saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's because in Savage World you just literally just if you have the XP, you upgrade your
you just straight up.
D6 with
you just
D8 and
straight
everything.
Up,
yeah,
you just straight upgrade the dice.
They might have changed it a little bit because it's been ages since I played Savage World, but
yeah, that's. I've only played like one system, but yeah, like my scientist is completely insane to the point of you get buffs and debuffs depending on your mental like stability. But there's 5 levels, and all except the insane one you can change. Like you can go down or up, you know, depending on your actions and what you do. But once you go insane, get to the nuts category, which is what I'm at. That's it. You're just nuts forever. There's no way to change that. But it has a system called like drama cards, which you can buy and you can use. And they have like you can negate all fall damage, for example, kind of thing. Or the one of the ones I had that I used was you can critically succeed in your next 2 actions. So I did when I got my arm ripped off and I was bleeding out, I did first aid on myself with it, even though I have no first aid skill. But because I used that card, it was critical success. Okay, you're still missing your arm, but you're not bleeding out anymore. And then I did CPR with my second action to stop another player character dying. So it was well placed. And now I've got the one that's no fall damage for 1 fall. So I'm like, I kind of know where I want to use this, which would be fun, but I've got to try and get onto a roof somehow.
Yeah, you know, I always wanted to use some of them in a more not D-class kind of game, but like I guess in a more horror-y dimension hopping kind of Doctor Who kind of way, I guess is the best way to describe it.
You can start as any of like the classes, like there's D-class, scientist, security, yada yada.
Yeah.
So, but it's very. The one thing that we were expecting a little different was it's very little opportunity to role play other than that you sort of force into it kind of thing. It's the system itself is very much action / combat oriented.
Figure out the monster.
Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah.
It's a mechanical.
Yeah, that's what I would have based it on it, but not exactly. It's like so you still have those things. I kind of always viewed it more as like because a puzzle. Because the thing I had in mind is you're either like it was based on Amber slash shit, I can't remember the other one. But anyway, you're kind of somewhat immortal-ish. You're like you can pretty much summon whatever you want and everything. But the idea would have been like yeah, you can't die. There will be benefits to if you quote unquote die though, but you're not really dead.
Yeah.
But like it would have been like, oh, there's a timer for it, so if you die, maybe you'll have one chance to come back, and that's that. Or it's gonna let's say a nuclear bomb is gonna go off in 10 hours. Oh, you died. You need at least like 6 hours to get back there, and continue the mission. Stuff like that, where it's more. It wasn't the role playing would have been in there, but it wouldn't have been as much during the missions because mission is kind of more puzzly.
Yeah.
Which could have been in combat, but you got to kind of try out what the weakness is, how you can contain it, or do you want to contain it? Is it a kind of the throwing in the Witcher vibe as well, where it's like, just because it's a monster doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes they got cursed and they actually want to do good, so you got to make that call and everything.
Well, we came across the Plague Doctor in our game. In the breach,
yeah.
But so his little zombie friends are wandering around and they just attack you on sight, so you murder them.
Yeah.
But the doctor himself was in his cell doing surgery on someone, and he's like, "Hi, how are you?" When we're talking to him, we're like, "We're fine, thanks." And because three of the four of us have worked in the Foundation, we know about him, so we're like, just be nice and move on. If he doesn't attack you immediately. He doesn't consider you a threat. You can keep going. But the one player who was doesn't know it. They're not too familiar with SCP itself. They know it a bit, but not much.
Yeah,
but
also
the actual character didn't know either. So we're like, oh, he's the one that's creating zombies. Shouldn't we kill him and attack him? And it's like, he's immortal. We can't. What you mean he's immortal?
Yeah.
Immortality is not a real thing. No, that's not a thing. He's not immortal. And we're like, let's go. We'll explain this when we're not being hunted down by zombies and amnestic dogs.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're a bit busy. We can explain this later.
Yeah, it's a fun kind of a Warhammer-ish feel. At least the tabletop where it's like the odds are against you, and or Cthulhu-ish, I guess, is maybe a better one where it's like, oh well. You're fucked, but you're just trying to avoid the inevitable.
Yeah. Which is why we joined the Chaos Insurgency when they offered, because we were like, we've got nowhere to go. The Foundation's going to be chasing us forever if we don't join them. And even if we refuse, the Chaos Insurgency might just kill us here on the spot anyway. So.
Yeah, and there's fun to be had there. Like even it doesn't always have to be horror. You could try and do Here Be Dragons. But then actually try to save him and everything. Stuff like that. Obviously, you gotta put a little bit of a twist on it because if you know the story, it kind of all your characters don't know, but it's it's better to do your own little spin on it as a GM, so it isn't just straight from the page, even though it is a very good one. How about this?
All right, so.
Big announcement. Let's go.
Yeah. Come on, Koshi, you're running for president.
You ready for the announcement, Pippin?
Okay. One of the horror YouTubers I watch, named IGP, he does a lot of... he's the guy I told you about that did the Signal Simulator.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the games he did, I watched back 2 months ago in June when I got sick, when I was laying in bed. And I wanted to tell you guys about this, and I completely forgot until I brought up the SCP earlier. But there is a developer out there. I don't know if it's a one-man or if it's just a small team, but it is indie. And what they're doing is they've built a series of games called SCP Secret Files.
Oh, yeah.
Where every single episode... or every single game is an episode in the series, and it takes place with a different SCP and the lore behind the SCP. The nice thing is, the cool thing about it is that it's very, it's got a bunch of different SCP like fans or lovers, whatever you want to call them, community to helping to develop the games. So each game is done completely different than the last. Not completely
Nice.
different, but different from the
Yeah.
last. So like the first one that I've got here uh, is very Amnesia and Silent Hill without the combat, or or not Subnautica. If you haven't played it, what's the one where you're stuck underwater and you're trying to
Subnautica.
figure out what happened? You just woke up.
Bioshock?
No, I don't think you would know it, but Zion might. Uh, God, what was the name of that game?
Is it old?
It came out, I think, 2017.
Oh no. No. Is it isn't it not the Cthulhu one, I guess?
Some can see. Oh, you mean the one where, like, in the trailer, the guy it's like an investigator, and then he dies. He sort of looks up, and the ocean's above him. Is it that one?
No.
Okay.
Uh,
That's a Cthulhu one.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
okay, this is like one of the most popular games, and it's not listed like in the top 10 here. That don't make any goddamn sense.
Oh, maybe
It's a
it
game
was
where you you go to a doctor because you have a headache, and they scan your brain. So they do like a CAT scan on you to see like what's going on because you were in a car accident, and they think you have brain damage. And like everything, like as you're there, you fall asleep when you wake up. After the CAT scan, when you wake up, the place is completely empty, and you're like the only person there. No, you're not dreaming. Because I know that's what everyone's thinking firsthand. You're not dreaming.
Or are you?
You wake up and things don't feel right, and you pass out. When you wake up, you're in a room, and when you figure out the puzzle on how to get out of the room, something is actively hunting you, and you have to try to get out of where you're at, and you discover that you're in a facility under the ocean. And
Soma?
I don't want to. What is it? What is it?
Soma?
Soma. Yes.
Okay. That rings a vague bell.
Soma. Very good game. Very underrated. I must have seen like 10
It's
different playthroughs on that game.
existential horror game.
Yeah, that's what this first one is. It's very Soma-like.
Summer chameleon.
The second one was a first-person game, first-person shooter, but it's not a shooter. You have like a crowbar. Think Half-Life 2, Half-Life 1, without the
First-person
guns.
crowbar.
And you're basically orbiting. You're basically on a moon around Jupiter, because I forgot what the name of the SCP is there, but it's so big that it's like they have to keep it off planet.
I don't remember which one it is, but I remember this story vaguely. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first one, you're a character who's been contacted, who works freelance for SCP, and they ask you to go into one of their facilities because they've lost signal, and they can't get through to anybody there, and they want you to go in there and get the black box. So when you get in there, you start finding time distortions, and I don't remember which SCP it is. I already closed the webpage, so I can't go back to look at it. But yeah, it's like that. But the demo is available right now. And then the second one, the second game in the series, is also has a demo that's available where you go to Jupiter because, again, lost contact with the colony on the moon. So you're being sent in to go find out what's going on. When you get there, the place is overrun by creepy crawlies.
That never happens.
But from what I've been watching from fans who've been watching the series and from this guy himself, like it's done really, really well. Like it's serious, SCP gaming. Not like SCP, that first version that was out like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. You know, I've
Which they
heard
did.
good things about it.
I have too, but it like kind of went nowhere, and now
Yeah.
they're making a remake of it with using the Unreal 4 engine that's been going on for a while. But there's really nothing to do other than run around, gather key cards,
Yeah, it's kind of a walk
and
simulator.
yeah, it is. It's exactly that. This one actually has like drama and story to it.
Mhm.
So like, if you guys are curious, check out. If you don't care, doesn't matter. Then just ignore the link. But if you do care, uh, or you want to just look more into it, whatever, I'll post the link in videos for games put in media.
Sounds good.
I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, I think I know the final cutscene of it. Because I think that went around for a while.
Yep, I've watched at least people play one of them. I don't know which one, because I think by then it was still kind of early accessy. It was like, oh, I'll get back to this, but then never did.
What was the SCP in this one? Is this the game?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But I also only know like half of them.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot.
I think they're in the 6,000 numbers now.
Yeah, for sure. Because I have a YouTuber that I follow that does like stories on it, and he's at like 6,000 or something. I feel like with every 1,000, they're kind of like, okay,
Yeah, the thousands
what's
are like
the
special ones.
what's the event that happens here, and you can have multiple. Like I think I've heard like 6 different stories for that count as 5,000.
Yeah, the thousands.
And it has a theme. It has like a theme.
Yeah, the thousands are done the same way that they originally did 001, which was to do a competition. Say, well, the thousands, here's a theme. Like my favourite one is just straight up like 3,000, which is an Antecession, which is the giant fucking Leviathan, where they just get all their amnestics from. They just feed people to it, and it gives they collect its mucus to make amnestics.
The first one, the horror-esque type game, is SCP-701. It's the Hand King of Elgada.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Oh,
okay, yeah. That is a big one.
Hanged King is one of the second ones, I think, isn't it?
That's the Scarlet.
There's
King.
the Scarlet, there's the Yellow, and I think the Hanged King is.
The Hanged King is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
The second one, I've never heard of this one. It's SCP-610.
That sounds familiar. Isn't that the one with the
Oh, it's not Flesh That Hurts.
the smiling guy or something like that?
No, this one is so big that it can eat other worlds. They had to contain it on Mars. It wasn't Jupiter, it was Mars.
Spoiler alert, that's
okay.
not very
Saying I'm
uncommon.
fat?
Yeah, fuck you. That's not very uncommon.
Fuck!
But it's also got SCP-939 in it and SCP-3199 in it.
610?
SCP-3199 is a human, chicken, adder, chimp, soat, and muscle hybrid. Okay.
Is there an SCP-69?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's me. This
Oh,
one,
really?
the SCP-610 is...
Yeah, it is. It's Flesh That Hurts.
Now, seriously, dude, who's going to read all this shit? So, IGP puts up a video of SCP-610, a video game, and this guy puts in like a fucking book in his...
in the comment section.
In his comment section, the flesh that hates, item number, SCP-610, object class, Keter.
Oh, he
special
probably
containment
just copied
procedure.
Yeah,
the-
he's
the-
just
the-
copy-pasted the article.
But it's like, come on, really, dude? Who's going to read this?
Well, people reading SCPs.
I mean, you
That's
put the
the
link
entire
in. You
website.
should probably just put the link in, to be honest.
Yeah,
The website gets more click-through on it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you would like to know more, click here.
Yeah, Flesh That Hurts is really good.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of Gannon, I will look up what 69 is. I think it's a vibrator.
I actually have
Really?
the SCP series here. 69 is
What
Well,
Second Chance.
Yeah, second. It's not, but because it's currently on Suicide Watch. But human identity, variable appearance and gender.
Yeah, it's in a recently deceased human body. The body will disappear, and SCP-69 will take on the appearance, mannerisms, and knowledge
Yeah,
of the
it's
recently dead
basically
individual.
a mimic, I think. By the look of it.
Yeah.
There is a 420, which I'm pretty sure is just super weed.
Yeah. They have a couple of those where it's like, yeah. They have a couple of those where it's like, yeah, very spot on.
420 is aggressive skin condition. SCP-420 is a dirty bottle of redacted branded whiskey with no lid. When emptied, a small amount of whiskey-like liquid remains in the bottle, appearing as liquid adhering to the sides. This liquid pools back in a few millimeters of SCP-420 over time. Drinking SCP-421, the liquid, will cause SCP-422, a non-fatal but consuming degeneration and mutation of skin and cantankerous tissue, hair, and fingernails. In the infected cases of this should be contained, but for further study, earlier cases can be treated. And SCP-422, the ones who were infected, has only been shown to affect humans.
You're a human.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Don't ever insult me like that again.
I really like. I think the Cactus universe is really fun.
Yeah, I like Cactus first.
Yeah, and the Dark
So,
Souls one is actually pretty good as well.
We're playing Minecraft today, yeah.
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 Did you manage to install that NAP Labs?
No, I completely forgot about it.
No, I downloaded the thing.
I tried to, and it just gave me a blank web page.
It's we need to install Optifine, which I'm pretty sure our mod pack doesn't have in it, and I just couldn't be bothered. To be honest.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was thinking like, all right, I have to go look to see if we use Optifine. I'll do that later, and then I completely forgot.
Yeah, I don't think we
you
do.
Optifine.
I did put the shader pack in the right, in the folder and stuff, and the game didn't detect it, so I just assumed we don't have Optifine in it.
That sounds like a fair.
It sounds like a lot of hassle for some bullshit.
It is.
Any other shader packs out there?
I had a quick look, but I just couldn't be bothered going through like those really crappy websites. So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay with what we have, because I mean, let's be honest. Like, let's really
Be honest.
be true to ourselves. How much longer are we going to be playing this?
Oh.
It's a game that would
Minecraft.
probably drop in and out of quite a lot, to be honest. Especially as we've got like games coming, we've got a couple of games coming up. We've got Grounded.
Yeah, Grounded comes out at the end of this month.
Which
I think the
will probably-
23rd or 27th.
So
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's like the 23rd because I think it was a week or so after the original for Dark Tide. So that's probably would take that slot anyway.
Yeah,
So that's only 3 weeks away.
pretty much. So yeah, I couldn't be bothered to.
And we can
If
always
it wasn't
look,
just a
but-
drop and go, which it didn't look like it was.
Yeah, it didn't just drop and go now because I did a drop and it just didn't. The game just went nah, fuck you, don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So just stick with what we got for now and try to get the most out of the game that we have.
Yeah.
Because we get, like what Zion said, we got Grounded coming in like 3 weeks, and then we got the Warhammer one coming in November. But before that, we've still got, if anyone's interested, we got Dying Light 2. We have, I mean, I know people are interested, but if interested in that time period to play
I
it then.
think Dying Light would be a good eventually, once we get to like maybe a Halloweenish. Well, by which I mean Octoberish.
Well, that's the thing. Now I was waiting. They had big updates come out. Well, now the first big expansion comes out. I think in November. I'm sorry, October. So I'm wondering if we should just wait till then.
I think it's a good. I mean, we can. It's an expansion, so I'm assuming we got to go through the story anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they've done their expansions in the past, and I could be wrong for this version, for part 2. But the expansions of the past you could play at any time. You didn't need to complete the game, except for the buggy one, and that's because it actually took place outside of the city.
Yeah.
So you had to complete that. But all the other
stuff
stuff you could do, like while you're playing the main campaign. Like after you had to unlock certain thing. Like you have to unlock the second part of the city, of course. But like you didn't have to complete the whole game to get to it, except for the buggy. But this one, the expansion, they're opening basically the Thunderdome.
Okay.
So there's that.
'Cause I feel like
That's
it
all I
might
know.
be a good substitute for Back for Blood.
Yeah, I would just think
once we get kind of bored of that one.
because
I'm still having fun with it. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
we're kind of like, it
We're
could
not
be.
gonna play it for a full year.
because we've done
Exactly.
the story. We're just rocking through like the difficulty settings now, and then attempting the hive nests, but they are notoriously difficult.
So yeah, I feel like once we're kind of done with that, Dying Light would be a good replacement.
Yeah.
And I am curious about going back into 7 Days to Die because I do want to try that Darkness mod because I hear that Darkness mod is like really, really good, and it makes the game like completely different. So I thought that would be kind of fun to play, check out. But I mean, later on.
Yeah, down.
I just want to throw the idea out there that maybe if you guys were interested, we could go back to that sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with it eventually.
Other than that, I know we had a couple other games, but I can't think of what they were.
Think, Koshi, think.
Uh,
I know it hurts your head, but you gotta try.
uh,
I believe in you, Koshi.
well, like I know at one point we had so many games that we had no time for them, and now I can't think of any of them because we put them off for so long.
Well, we were maybe thinking of you wanted to go back to Sea of Thieves at some point.
I did, but Gannon doesn't want to play it because of the PvP aspect. Because that one